we finally got some information leaking about the much anticipated Nikon Z8. This is all thanks to mirrorless rumors. The Nikon Z8 will have the same sensor as in the Sony A7R4. That's that 61 megapixel sensor, so 61 megapixels in the Nikon Z8. This is a really interesting sensor size. And when we talk about video in just a little bit, well, it could mean many, many different things. But video aside, let's talk about stills capabilities. This camera will have an ISO range of 64 to 25,600 and an extended range of 32 to 102,400. It's going to have a larger body, and the good news, it's going to have dual CF Express cards. That is really good news. I see the Z8 as a direct competitor to Canon's R5, and the Canon R5, as much as I like this camera, only has a single CF Express card. The other is a UHS-2 card slot. So for the Z8 to have dual CF Express card slots, I think that's a really big deal because it allows you to open up and access a whole lot more storage, especially with these larger CF Express cards. And hopefully this new camera will support the larger 4 terabyte CF Express cards from Angelbird. Other specifications, it's definitely going to have a larger body and it's going to have a 61 megapixel sensor, but it's also going to be using pixel shift technology. I'm not a big fan of this because everything in your frame has to be absolutely steady, and the ground that you're on also has to be steady. But with pixel shift technology, it's going to be able to deliver up to a 240 megapixel image, which is really, really amazing. But now I want to talk to you a little bit about the video specs. The rumor says that this camera is going to be capable of 6K video, which is obviously going to be cropped or binned in some way because, well, it's a 61 megapixel camera. If this was just 45 megapixels like the Nikon Z9, then it would be capable of producing oversampled 8K video. And if this is a direct competitor to the Canon R5, it shows that Nikon is focusing solely on stills, or perhaps the rumors got it wrong, because I would expect this camera to deliver at least 8K video if Nikon wanted to appeal to all those people looking at the R5. If it just does 6K video, and it's cropped and it's binned, I think they're missing an opportunity here. They could take that full sensor readout and provide an 8K oversampled image, something like what Sony's doing with the Alpha 1. That is 8.6K oversampled 8K. I know what you're thinking. Yes, this could be somehow crippled on purpose so it doesn't take away from sales from the Z9, but I don't see that. I think there's other ways to cripple this camera. It is a larger body. It can handle heat dissipation better, and if they put in proper thermals, this camera can record better than the R5, and that would be a big win. But only 6K video? I'm not so sure about that. It just seems really strange to me. 6K. I don't know. Anything? Have I missed anything else? Oh, it does have improved image stabilization. And as far as an announcement, well, an announcement is expected here in 2022. As far as when is it going to ship, no mention is given. We also have rumors of a new camera body, the Nikon Z4. This comes from Nikon rumors. So this camera is supposed to be a competitor to basically the Sony A7C and the Canon EOS RP. It's going to be very similar to each of these cameras. The rumor says that it isn't going to be an entry-level, low-cost competitor to the EOS RP. It's going to be more on par with the Sony A7C. And that's very, very interesting. See, I look at the Z6 and Z7 as very, very capable cameras. Now, the Z7 is, of course, quite a bit more. Then we've got the Z6. And so there's definitely room for another entry-level camera. But we've also got the Z5. So I don't know. I think if they basically came in with a low-cost competitor to the Canon EOS RP with some more specs and maybe just charged a few $100s more. So instead of being around $1,500 or $1,600, it was around $1,100 or $1,200, but offered more capabilities, I still think that would be a great competitor to the Canon EOS RP, which is due to be refreshed shortly with a price of between $799 and $899, and it's going to be EVF free. And the Z4 is also expected to be EVF free, or when I say EVF free, it'll have the EVF as an option. It's one of the ways that Canon, Nikon, Sony, and others can reduce the cost of their cameras. So the Nikon Z4 and the Nikon Z8. Which of these cameras interest you, and what do you think of the specifications of the Nikon Z8? It's kind of strange. It's almost like somebody's looking at Sony and saying, hey, yeah, let's just base these rumors off of this camera. I find it very strange that Sony would be going with the 61 megapixel sensor. I just don't feel quite right about that. There's just something about these rumored specifications that come from mirrorless rumors that just don't feel quite right to me. To me, when I look at anything that Nikon and Canon do, I see them as closely competing against each other. They kind of want to ignore Sony because Sony to them is not a true camera company. So when Nikon comes out with a Z8, I see them directly competing against the Canon EOS R5. I expect it to have at least 45 megapixels or somewhere in and around that range. It could do 50, but definitely around 45 megapixels. And because the Nikon Z9 has 45.7 megapixels, why not just use the same sensor? Helps with costs. They can cripple the camera in other ways, and that will make doing 8K video a whole lot more affordable. They don't need to go 61 megapixels. They can leave that towards a high megapixel camera and 6K video. I'm not so sure about that. Now, the other thing we don't know is what the frame rate is. Now, again, they're basing it off the Sony 61 megapixel camera, so we can basically take the frame rate from there and assume it to be the case here. But I'm not completely convinced that these are what the specifications will be for the Nikon Z8, that it's going to use the Sony 61 megapixel sensor, that it's going to be limited to 6K video. And the Z4, that's interesting too. What do you think about these rumors? Do you think they're close? Do you think they're close to the money, or do you think they're completely way off? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to know the latest information as it comes out, rumors or news, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit all notifications so you get the news as soon as it comes out. And also, if you subscribe before the end of the month, and if you're already a subscriber, you're entered to win an Angelbird AV Pro SX card that I'll be holding the draw at the end of this month. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.